Hi, and welcome to a Waking Moment podcast. And I'm Dani Palacio, and I am grateful that you're here. Whether you're a returning person or brand new, the whole point of this podcast is to bring up topics, experiences, questions that ultimately I hope will allow you to ponder, to explore, and to find your own truth so that you can live the life of your dreams and your desires and do that with the greatest amount of authenticity and self-discovery and knowing yourself the very most that you can. Right. And so it's an ongoing journey and one that I have been on for forever, it feels like. And I have to say, it gets really intense there for a bit. I just had a few weeks of really intense ponderings and questions about who I am and how I want to show up and what do I want to share with the world. And the podcast is definitely a place where I feel very joyful and grateful that I have the opportunity to do this and that this kind of technology that we have is available and it's fun to learn it all. So thank you. This episode is about self-care ultimately. I want to talk about it because I'm noticing through the world, actually, I have friends all over the world, and when I check in with them or talk to them, life is always super busy. It's always, oh, I'll get to that. I know I'm not, really taking good care of myself, but I'm going to keep going. And I'm part of a group that you too can be part of if you want. Anyway, I'm part of a group that is really, we're all on our journey. We're devoted to our growth and our understanding of how to have life that is vibrant and thriving and working with our bodies and working with our choices. And I, on my journey of self-care, have always had a struggle with putting myself first. And I feel like I am out of that. Yes, I still do it, and I probably will do it. But for the most part, I'm putting myself first. And I have to say that I am starting to recognize the importance of that and the blessings. My life right now, as it is so amazing and so wonderful. And I can authentically tell you that I am at peace with where I'm at and I'm excited for what I'm creating. And I love all the creative energy that's flowing out of me and through me. And I just wanted to take a pause. So this episode is about self-care, and it's my PSA to you to slow down, to rest, to listen to your body, make sure that you are providing what it needs, right? So, and everybody is unique and will need different things. So I'm not going to tell you what you have to go give your body, but I'm going to share with you some techniques, some ways of becoming more conscious, more mindful of asking your body and asking your heart and asking your soul. And we're going to talk about some really simple practices to help remind us to love ourselves, to take good care of ourselves, because this is it. This is the body we got this incarnation. And it's going to do what it's going to do for as long as it's going to do it. Right? So let's start with some simple things that you can do. And so first and foremost, you have to remember. And it takes effort to remember, and it takes reminding ourselves to take care of ourselves. And I know that seems so strange, but it really is one of the things that when you ask someone, oh, why don't you take care of yourself? Or why don't you make time to take care of yourself? Why isn't it on your calendar? People are like, I just forgot. I mean, I know it's important, but I forgot. So I want to introduce you to the stickies. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're at the dollar store if you have, and they're on Amazon. And so if you don't even want to go to the store, just order them through Amazon. And I have hearts, multiple colors. I have kitty cats. And of course, I have the classic little square ones. But these are fantastic. I have them all over the place. Because I don't remember to always take care of myself. So I sometimes have them in the car because I know that particular day or week I'm going to be in the car a lot. So I make sure to stick a few in there. They're typically on my refrigerator. They're definitely here in this workspace I have. Oftentimes I have been known to put them on the mirrors in the bathroom. It just depends. You have to look at your life and you have to look at where you are and what you're going to do for that day or that week. And I would tackle it by day or by week. I would not try and make the reminders be so general that you don't even know what they mean when you read them. And if you make them so general, what our mind does, because it's so incredibly miraculous and beautiful, our brain sees something a few times and then it becomes part of the norm. It becomes just the natural things that your brain picks up. I'm in this room, I'm in the car, and it has made a file of what that looks like, and we may not see them. So either change them out, change the color that you write the note with, and rotate them. So and what I mean by that, like, what am I supposed to write on these, Dani? Okay, let me tell you. I want you to think about some simple things you could do in that moment, wherever you put them, where that would be a self-care, self-love act. And that could be as simple as take a deep breath in. You write that on the sticky, take a deep breath in. Maybe a little smiley face, stick it on the mirror. Another one could be, you matter. And that's a reminder that you matter. You need to come first. I've talked about the glass being half full, half empty, and the way in which we give to the world and to our loved ones. Your individual cup has to be 100% full, and the overflow is what you share with others. Otherwise, you're giving parts of yourself and you're exhausting yourself even more, which is, you're never going to get ahead that way. You might think, oh, if I take just this weekend and then I can recover. It's not going to be enough. It really isn't. Recovery is every day. So think about what you want to say to yourself. Maybe it's, you're the most amazing person I know. Or, yeah, I know, right? Say the things that you can't bear to hear, right? If somebody said something to you like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, and you went, or you just didn't even acknowledge it and you just kept going, I want you to write that on a sticky, because that's self-love, that's self-care. When you remind yourself with positive affirmations, with positive reflections, it adds to your life force. It helps your heart stay open and it helps your heart expand. So that's one principle, one act that you can do that takes seconds, and it's kind of fun. Now, the other one is to plan. I'm a big planner, and I know most people, whether they like it or not, plan. They have a calendar of some kind. Maybe it's on your computer. Maybe work has one in Outlook that you have to put all your meetings on anyway. Plan. If you have a family and kids are busy, and of course they are, and they're doing all the different things, and you got to juggle the schedule to make sure that they get where they're going and everybody gets fed and all of that. Make sure when you're planning and you're putting all that stuff on the calendar that you do at least one self-care, self-love act a day. I know that's the challenge. I know it because I'm feeling it myself, that it's a lot. So, but again, it doesn't have to be get a massage, although that's a fantastic one, or go for a walk. And even if it is go for a walk, maybe it's just 5 minutes. Maybe it's to and from the mailbox. And that's enough time for you to take a few slow, deep breaths, to take the fresh air in, to feel the sun on your face, to remind you that you matter, that you're real. Time is not the important thing here. The act, the intent, and the follow through are the important things. So I want to see it on your schedule. Not only will you have your sticky notes if you choose to use that option, but you will then have it on your calendar. And then guess what? It'll make it that much harder for you to book something over it. And try not to multitask. I know a lot of you multitask. I am famous for it too. And I'm trying really hard to let multitasking go. There's no benefit to our bodies, to our nervous system, to our brain to multitask. We were trained to do that, to be efficient, to get more done. And if you've ever worked in a workspace, it's like you're going to answer the phone, you're going to write a note, you're going to send an email, and it's like, I can do all three of those at the same time. Okay, maybe you can. I know I used to, and now I don't even want to. So that was number 2. And number 3, this is going to be the hardest one, but if you have a group of friends, 2, 3 friends, whatever, even one friend, could you agree to support each other in taking care of yourself? Now, that can look like a lot of different things. It could be a text. Hey, I'm really stressed out this week. Could you send me a text someday and just remind me that it's okay to slow down, right? It could be, you're chit-chatting and whatever. Hey, you want to meet for a cup of coffee? Because if that feels nourishing to you, then that's an act of self-care. And you've incorporated someone you care about in that self-care activity. So How awesome is that? It's a win-win for everybody. So again, 3 things. Sticky notes, give yourself reminders, tell yourself amazing things, write some affirmations, stick them all over the place and have fun and rotate them. 2, schedule your self-care into your schedule because you are a priority. And even though you're doing so much for so many other people, whether it's friends, family, whether it's work, community, you deserve to be on your schedule. If you don't see yourself on your schedule, honestly, there's something wrong about that. And I don't like the word wrong, but I do feel it is because you deserve to be on your calendar and you deserve to have time to feel good, to give yourself back some nourishment. And 3, work on incorporating someone else as part of your self-care plan. Get some support because support in itself is an act of caring and loving. And then creating a win-win situation where you're both going to feel better, more alive, more possible. And I mean that by like when 2 friends get together or a group of friends get together, they always, I mean, more than not, they leave feeling inspired. They leave feeling seen. They leave feeling heard. And so, and it can be a family member. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a lovely way for you to receive some love. And it's a lovely way for the both or the multi people that you get together with to also take that same time of self-care and also receive some love. So those are the 3 things I wanted to mention really specifically. Action steps that you can easily take. They don't cost a lot of money. They don't take a lot of time. But when you add them all up, they make an impact. Okay, now I want to talk about what is self-care. Because as I was sharing all of that, I kept hearing this thing in the back of my mind going, but I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how it can cumulatively makes a difference. Self-care. We know what it is to give care, right? We give care to everybody, really, like our family members, maybe our children, maybe our niece and nephew, maybe a friend, sibling, a parent. We make sure if they're in our circle of love and we count them as significant and important, we make sure we're checking in on them one way or another. So that's caring, right? But how does that come back to you? How do you do for others to yourself? And again, it doesn't look the same for everyone because we all have certain stressors. We all have unique experiences and situations that we're dealing with. And so I want to share a few of my own, and I hope that they inspire you to think about how you can understand what self-care is in your own unique way. I could have looked it up in the dictionary because y'all know I love to do that, but I didn't because I don't believe a dictionary definition is going to get you any further than exploring what self-care means for you because you are a unique soul. You are a unique human. And so for me, self-care means that I say no a lot, that I have boundaries, clear ones. I will or will not allow these certain belief systems, these certain actions. I recently encountered an individual who I would never choose to have in my circle of life because it's very off-putting and it brings out the part of me that wants to like fight, that duke them out kind of energy when that's not actually going to win or be anything. And so I had the opportunity to state my boundaries. I had the opportunity to stick to those boundaries, and I had the opportunity of actually enforcing them. And wow, that was thrilling. It was a horrible experience, but the part that I stay true to what I said and what I meant and was powerful self-care, because you don't always get to do it in that dramatic kind of big way. So little things also include, and this is for me in my life, right? So you have to do your own, but again, hope you get a little inspired. I live a life right now that I do not have to set an alarm. And so I don't. And I allow my body to kind of guide when she's tired. And I go lay down and I rest and I go to bed. And I've also I think you all know that I had Invisalign. And so part of the maintenance of Invisalign is that you have your trays that you put in as like night guards at night. And my self-care is taking care of those trays. So it means brushing my teeth, dental flossing, scrubbing them out, maybe soaking them in peroxide. But that's a self-care routine because I really love the results of the Invisalign and I want to follow through. I endured all those months of changing my bite, changing all the teeth locations. It wasn't always easy and it was fairly painful. And so I'm like, I want to maintain, I want to follow through with what I accomplished so that I can continue to have that benefit. That's self-care to me. What else? This is an interesting one that I'm learning more and more that it's self-care. I used to view this as restriction and boundaries and, I was hard on myself, let's just say. But I have a tendency to overeat sugar, particularly when I am busy or when I am emotional, and sometimes just just because I want to. So my new self-care is intending to not buy sugary items when I go grocery shopping. Grocery shopping is a lot of fun for me most of the time, and there's just so many sugary options. I mean, I try not to go down that aisle. I try to walk by something that I would really enjoy that's on sale. I try to walk by it and not put it in my cart. And if I have put it in my cart, I put it up in the buggy part of it where, like kids sit and stuff, or where my purse sits. Anyway, I put it up there because when I am in line, I usually have to wait to unload my cart and all of that. And so I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, there's 3 things in here. Do I need them? Do I really, really need them? And oftentimes I will just go to the cash register and say, you know what, I decided against these, and I'll just hand them back. And even that act is an act of self-love and self-care. Those are just some of my new ones that I'm trying out. I can tell you a lot of other ones, which I might just write down in the summary of little acts of self-care that add up. And I want to talk about it adding up. A lot of times when you start a new habit or you start a new intention, it doesn't feel like you're making headway at all. It just feels like I keep doing this and I keep doing this and I'm not doing anything and it's not adding up. It is though. And I had a moment today where I have to go give blood, and it's one of my least favorite things to do. Not because I give blood, but because of the results. I just never know. Anyway, so today I was going through, my mind was kind of going through some stuff about, well, you could have been better about that, or you could have said no to that, or you could have, blah, 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 blah. And honestly, thank goodness I live alone. I said, no, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop the criticism. And so then right then and there, I just repeated all the good things that I had done, that I had changed some food choices and that I have changed some movement options and I have done these things and I feel good and I'm taking step by step, and just to reassure me that I have done a lot of beautiful things for myself. Were they perfect? No. And that's a hard one for me. If it's hard for you, I feel ya. I get it. If you don't do it perfect, does it really mean that you've done it or that you've done it well? It does. It does. I swear it does. So I know this was a little bit of a different type of podcast this week, but I felt like now was the time because we're in mid-April and before we know it, it will be June. And kids will be getting out of school and kids will be graduating high school and there'll be parties and there'll be travel and then there'll be summer, and then summer can get really hectic. And that's in the kids world, right? But for those that don't have kids, think about your job. Like, do you have a product launching? Do you have a new service launching? Do you need to extend and create a new marketing plan? Have you been asked to help run a meeting or run a group meeting? What else? Maybe you're traveling for your work and all that other stuff is happening. So it can get really busy really fast right before summer hits because the weather is shifting, and in North America, the weather pretty much all over the place is really lovely. Sometimes it's too hot, but other times it's just perfect and we're outside more. So think about that. Think about how to prepare for self-care. And if you need support, my best supports, honestly, are my crystals. I can grab a crystal and I can put it in my pocket all day. And if I grab different ones every day or every other day, I get a different reminder because I know what the crystals mean or I like the color. So there's that. I also love flower essences. I think that the vibrational energy of flowers and their unique healing message helps us. And so I think flower essences, and I'm a big essential oil person, right? So I love to shift my mood and to bring in more love and more care with oils. So find an oil that's really calming for you. Find an oil that's really joyful, that helps you feel excited about something. And there's so many different oil companies out there, everything from multi-level marketing ones to no subscription ones. They're all at the grocery store as well. I can't think of a grocery store that doesn't have some form of aromatherapy option. So that could be a really good one. And it's frequency and energy on both of those, flower essences and essential oils. And that's going to change your frequency, which is automatically going to change your perspective and your mood. Music. If you love music, put your favorite music on and rock out. Took a short little road trip and I was in the car for 5 hours. And oh my goodness, I had so much fun. I put on all kinds of different music and, I'm like going down the road with my head bopping. And sometimes I'd even on the steering wheel, like boop, 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 boop. I did all kinds of crazy stuff because it was just me, and music is fun for me. It's a good outlet. And if it's a good outlet for you, make a new playlist, put on your favorite song, or just tell your Alexa or tell Siri or tell one of those software people that to play your favorite. Actually, I did that with the Bee Gees. I told Siri on Spotify to play the Bee Gees. The Bee Gees playlist that they chose was horrible. So the next rest stop that I was at, I was like, that's it. And I did my own Bee Gees thing really fast because then it kind of plays off based on what you've already put in. And so much better. To that point, try and try again until you get what you need. And I would love to hear if you have self-care ideas. I would love to hear them in the comments, and just so that everybody can learn from them, right? I don't even claim to know a lot. I just share with what I do know and what I'm inspired to share. And so my list is very limited because I'm just one person. But I would encourage you to share this episode with your friends and family and coworkers, and so that you're all in the awareness that self-care is required and self-care is essential. So I thank you for being here again. I wish you all the best in your self-care endeavors. I hope that the actions and the reminders that you set up for yourself work for you. And if they don't work, don't give up. Try again. Try something new. And until next week, I wish you the best. Take care and have fun.